I am joined here by Boltja and Jay Sanders. We're here to talk some NBA as the playoffs are starting. Playoff tournament has already been underway. We got some more tonight. How y'all doing?
We're good. Good.
Good, strong. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure whenever I get to talk about sports with you.
You betcha. This
Yeah.
man was on Jeopardy. Both these guys were on Jeopardy earlier this year. Go check that video out if you have not.
It's a good one.
So let's jump right into it. We're going to give our top 5 NBA players in order currently. I'll let one of y'all go first.
Let's hand it off to Jay.
Okay. You want me to go 5-1 or 1-5?
Let's go
We got
5
1
to
to
1.
5.
I say start off
1 to
start with
5?
5.
Okay, start with 5.
Okay.
Do that.
At 5, I have LeBron James. Now, I know a lot of people are going to diss me for this, but I just think even though the Lakers missed the playoffs, he was really their only star player, and he was putting up good numbers, averaging 30 points a game. And his player efficiency rating was 26.25, which really isn't that bad. But anyways, number 4, I have Joel Embiid. Probably one of the if not the best player in the NBA right now, but averaging 30.6 points a game, 11 rebounds, and he's third in PER out of everyone. Number 3, I have Kevin Durant. Number 2, I have Nikola Jokic, and number 1, I have Giannis. So
Okay. Jack, you want to go or
no
I'll
explanation on
go.
those 3.
all right?
All right. At 5, I'm gonna get Trey Young. It's kind of a spicy one, but leader in points and assists. It's never been done in history before. I think he did in college and in the NBA. And
Wow.
having him at 5 is kind of surprising just because the Hawks are on the best record, but I don't know. He's done some really good stuff this year. And then at 4, I got Jokic. He's just been carrying the Nuggets all year. And then at 3, I got KD at 3 just because he's been injured, but he could easily when he's healthy, he's one. He's the best player in the NBA. And then at 2, I got Embiid. He's putting up some historical numbers in the past few, like just whole season, but especially the past 10 or 20 games. And yeah, and then at 1, I've got Giannis just because he's just been balling for the Bucks. What about you,
All right.
Strong?
I'll give mine. I want to give my honorable mentions first. Jason Tatum. I have him up here. I don't have him in the top 5, but just because of what he's done, he's turned the Celtics around the second half of the season. I have just outside the top 5, Joel Embiid. And y'all have him in y'all's top 5. I don't. Even though I'm a Philly fan.
Interesting.
He hasn't been the most efficient player.
I would think that you'd have him pretty high up there.
I mean, listen, he put up the stats. He's put up the boards. He's put up the points. But he's
hasn't
not
shown
been,
up in the playoffs.
Yeah, and he hasn't been as efficient as some of the guys on this list. Luka Doncic, he's leading his team in points, rebounds, and assists. He might be the only player in the league besides Jokic to have that this season. And let's be honest, without Luka, the Mavericks are like a 12 seed in the West or something like that. At 4, I have Jokic, 27.1 points per game, 13.8 rebounds per game, 7.9 assists per game. Insane stats, but the most insane thing is that he's shooting 58% from the field, which is mind-boggling. 3, I have Steph Curry. He had a scoring slump, but he's still averaging 25.5 on the year, and that's on a roster with a lot of good scorers, so it's hard to do that. And the Warriors are 29 and 73 without Curry over the past 4 years, so that just says how valuable he is to his team. 2, I have KD. He's averaging 29.9, and there was a stretch this season where he was averaging like 40 a game without Kyrie. And then at 1, like you guys, I have Giannis. He's averaging 29.9 points per game. But here's the crazy thing. He's doing this in less than 33 minutes per game. The next highest scorer with less than 33 minutes per game is Tyler Hero at 20.7, which is pretty
6 man of the year.
Yeah, possibly. He also has 11.6 boards and 5.6 assists.
Wow.
I just don't, Jack, I don't know how you have Trey Young. That's just.
Trey Young was one of my honorable mentions. But,
well, when you lead the NBA in points and assists, that just shows, I mean, you're the leader in both of the 2 main categories in the NBA. So to me, that you get to go in the top 5 for that. But let's talk about Jay having LeBron in the top 5.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I mean, I guess since the Lakers had such a great year, you put him there. But Jay, can we get you behind your reasoning on the LeBron?
I don't know. He's just okay. You could argue like his stats are good, but I mean, who cares about stats really? I mean, I just think he's just one of those kind of guys where I mean, look at the Lakers. Like he's not winning with the Lakers, but he's putting up good numbers with the Lakers. I don't know. Is he just
one of those guys where whatever team he's on, they're gonna make the playoffs, like at worst?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it showed this year, didn't it? No, but listen,
Yeah,
listen, like LeBron's stats are great, the 30 points per game, this, that, and the other. But these were all, they're all fake stats. Like he's stat padding quite simply. And I knew that LeBron was going to do this when he was chasing Kareem, because he shot like more 3-pointers this year than he had ever shot in his career, because that's the most efficient way to score, and you don't have to take tolls on your body when you're shooting from beyond the arc. So LeBron at this point is just chasing Kareem, trying to get the most points. He doesn't care about winning. So I can't have him in my top 5.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I don't.
And you not even making the playing game.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
With like 7 Hall of Famers.
Some could argue that Russell was more valuable to the team this year than LeBron. I'm just kidding.
I mean, his plus minus may have been. Who knows?
Like to shout out Turner Vic for having that as his GOAT. And
oh yeah,
I just want to say at the beginning of this year, I called the Lakers weren't. I don't know if I said they weren't going to make a playoffs, but I knew they were going to have some trouble. So
I didn't know it'd be this bad. I think I had them as like a 5 or 6 seed. I was like,
yeah.
Like after coming off of last year where their whole team was injured and they still made a 7 seed, I was like, yeah, they gave up a lot of draft capital, but there's no way Russell Westbrook is going to hurt their team that much. So like they're going to get in, but jeez.
Yeah. I know it's been a rough year for the Lakers. I love it though, as I'm sure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But so Embiid being really low.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of that James Harden effect. Like people often criticize these guys that just sometimes they don't shoot the ball to make it; they shoot the ball to get fouled. And y'all gave me a lot of heat on that last year in the playoffs, and I'm starting to catch on to that a little bit.
Hey, Trey Young does it too.
Yeah, Trey Young does it too, and they've made rule changes, and he's still putting up like an insane amount of points per game and rebounds per game. But he's just not as efficient as a guy like Jokic, who's shooting 58% and, can also pass the ball.
Is Jokic your MVP this year again?
Listen, I really hate the MVP award because it's just stat-based at this point. But, yeah, he's probably going to win it. But if I were to award it to somebody, either Luka or Giannis, but since it's a stat award, it's going to be Jokic.
I agree with you strong. I would say Giannis has been the most valuable player, but he's not going to get that award just because it's based off stats.
Yeah, and Giannis is like this year especially, he's actually become like a closer. Like he's actually clutch. Like that step back he hit against the Nets to win that game.
Yeah.
Like he's starting to become more than just a guy that's going to get you a dunk every now and then and go head to the free throw line.
He shortened his free throw routine.
Yeah.
Look what happens.
Yeah. Good point, Jay.
All right. So let's talk about, since the Bucks just made the championship last year, let's give our championship predictions for this season. I guess we can start off for Jay. Who's your finals?
Okay, I have Suns out of the West, Sixers out of the East, Suns 1-7.
So that's okay. You want me to go strong?
Sure.
I agree with Jay. I think Suns are going to come out of the West. And then out of the East, it's either going to be the Heat or the Bucks. And honestly, I could see a Bucks-Suns rematch. And I think the Suns get it this time. I think they get the revenge on the Bucks.
Yeah. I mean, I think if the Suns make it to the finals, they're definitely going to win.
Chris Paul he's due for one. Last year they came close. But
yeah.
I think this year they get their revenge.
They very well could. I actually have the Sixers, and this is looking a little sketchy after some recent injury news, but I have them playing the Dallas Mavericks, and I have Philadelphia winning in 7. Listen.
Ooh.
Dallas, it's a hot take. If Luka plays, then I retract my statement, and they're probably going to get swept in the first round. But if Luka's healthy, I think they have a great chance at the finals. Like, look, in the West, there's no LeBron, there's no Kawhi. This would be the year that an inferior roster could make a run.
Yeah, that's not the worst point. Just the biggest thing there is the injuries, and I just don't see anyone being the Suns. I don't see the Mavs. I just think the Grizzlies, Warriors, and Suns are all better than the Mavericks.
Yeah, I mean,
but
they definitely all have better rosters, but
that's your
like,
wild card to make
yeah.
get hot at the right time.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look at the series last year against the Clippers. Like, the Clippers had two superstars. Their roster was 20 times better than the Mavericks. But,
That
if
was a great series.
Luka could just put up 45 and keep it close, they always had a chance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I've got a bold take. Back. So both of y'all have the Sixers winning the championship, and I don't even have them getting past the Raptors. I just think
has the Suns beating the Sixers.
I have Suns being Sixers,
okay.
but
Well, I meant I guess
East.
y'all. But
yeah, they're in the
coming
championship.
out of the East, and I don't even have them coming out of the first round. And
wow,
I think the Raptors are a sleeper team. I guess they're kind of like my Mavericks. They're going to get really hot, and I just don't think Harden. I just think he's a liability for him. I think every team they're going to play, he's just going to get screened. His man's just going to screen to get him on the ball. And I just think they're going to really expose that. And I just don't think Harden – I mean, the Sixers are good, but I think they would have been better off just not making the trade for Harden and giving up some players because I don't know. I think Harden's just a big liability in the playoffs.
I feel like James Harden's a guy that, like, he hasn't really been carrying as much over the past couple of years, but, like, when he turns it on, he's not Houston James Harden, but he's still a very valuable player, I feel like, when he actually cares about basketball.
Yeah, on offensively, still one of the best offensive players in the NBA as far as just what he does for the floor. But I just think defense is too much. I don't think in a 7-game series, I just think it's going to get exposed. And I don't know. I could see the Raptors beating them in 6 or 7.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Raptors have enough stars. Like, they have Siakam, who's, maybe a top 20 player. Fred VanVleet, I believe he was an all-star this year. Scotty Barnes, but
Scotty Barnes breakout year. But
yeah,
the Raptors, they just really play well together as a team. It's kind of like they just have a lot of really solid basketball players on their team, and I just think that might be more than Embiid and Harden can handle.
Yeah. I kind of want to talk about the Heat. Jack, you had the Heat winning?
I had them. I changed my mind. I think the Bucks come out of the East, but I think it could be the Heat. It's either the Heat or Bucks. I think the Heat.
I'm going to be completely honest. I think the Heat are just a bunch of regular season tryhards who could get bounced in as early as the first round. Probably not, but probably the second round.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, one thing that impressed me about the Heat is they had such a good record this year, and I think they're.
Who do you think they lose to?
Philly.
Yeah.
They had a really good record, and I think their starters played together 10 times or something.
Yeah, and if Atlanta comes out of the play-in, they could take them to 6 or 7. If I'm being honest.
Nah, I don't think.
I think they could.
I am a Hawks fan.
You see the Hawks last year?
This is the same Hawks roster that went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I mean, it's the same exact roster.
I mean, yeah.
Minus Cam Reddish.
Kevin Knox.
If the Hawks did it last year, I know I just said I think the Heat are really good, but I believe in Atlanta. Yeah. # believe. But
I'll talk about one last series here. What do y'all think of that Celtics Nets one? That one's going to be an interesting rematch from last year.
I think honestly, I have Nets in 7.
I could see that.
With the new addition of Seth Curry and
I saw this today. So the Celtics are favored in the series they're more likely to beat the Nets, but the Nets have better odds to win the finals than the Celtics. I thought that was really interesting.
I think what that's just saying is the betting, the odds are saying that the Celtics are a better team, but the Nets have better playoff performers.
Okay.
They don't trust Jason Tatum to go all the way.
Mm-hmm. But they can trust KD.
Yeah, they're saying if the Nets can beat the Celtics, they can win it all.
Yeah, the Celtics are deeper than the Nets, but
Yeah, but no Patrick Williams. That's big.
Katie and Kyrie are just, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
hard to. Those are two players you don't really want to see in the first round.
No, they're not.
Ben
The
Simmons
Celtics kind of
too,
got
bro.
Unfortunate.
Yeah,
Ben
I would not want to
Simmons.
be a seed.
I mean, yeah, the Nets were like the second team in the East before everyone got injured. So
yeah,
that's about as unfortunate as it can get for Boston.
y'all see where Katie just said tip the ball up. He doesn't care. He just wants to go there. He doesn't care what they're playing for. And they were. I don't know if you'll cut the game, but they were up big against the Cavs.
Yeah.
But the Cavs kind of made it interesting a little
They
bit.
did. Yeah, I fell asleep at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then I woke back up. I mean, I've heard people on the internet today saying, if Jared Allen plays for the Cavs, then they win that game. I don't think so. I just think the Nets got a comfortable lead. Kevin Durant didn't play as much minutes as he normally would. They knew that they were going to win the game, and they kind of let off the gas a little bit last night. But even though they only won by 7 points, it felt like a game that they had in control the whole time. Cleveland got some garbage time points. Not worried about the Nets.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Nets were ever going to lose that game.
No.
And y'all think the Hawks can? You think Hawks are coming out?
I think they get the 8 seed.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cavs, they can play well, but if the
What do we think
Hawks
about Warriors Nuggets?
Warriors in 5.
Really?
Yeah, they're too deep.
yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
I like
Is
that.
Wiseman back yet?
No, he's out for the year, isn't he?
I think so. I'm not sure though.
Yeah. I would say Warriors in 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Patrick Beverly?
Oh, shoot. I was about to ask that actually.
Really? Yeah.
That was
Dude.
so funny.
Dude,
That was
okay.
sad.
People are hating on them for that, but like this is the first time they've been to the playoffs in like how long? Like 10 years or something?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, something.
It just
enjoy the
shows-
moment. Like
It shows how sad
seriously.
being a Timberwolf can be.
Yeah. Like just enjoy the moment. Like I don't know how people are hating on them for
I'm hating on it because, I mean, I don't care. Like, just because you get in the playoffs, you shouldn't be playing. That was funny when TNT started playing. We were the champions.
yeah.
But yeah, you shouldn't be celebrating like that and talking that much. They talked a lot of crap about the Clippers and
Well,
stuff.
that's
And
Patrick Beverly. That's just
all
his
they did
name.
was just beat them in one game, and now they gotta go play the Grizzlies, and I think they're gonna get humbled real quick. That was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
It's just Pat Bev. Like,
it is Pat Bev.
That is who he is. But
yeah.
that was a good game though.
Yeah, for
Anthony
sure.
Edwards showed some real potential. I mean, not potential. He just showed that he's the real deal.
Yeah. Man,
Could y'all see them making it interesting with the Grizzlies?
I can see them taking it to 7.
It's gonna be a really high scoring.
Yeah, for sure.
Series.
I mean, the
I
fact
just-
that they won last night and, Cat played horrible. He put up 11 points and fouled out in the third quarter, and they still won.
I see Grizzlies in 5. I just don't know. The Grizzlies, I think, are the number 2 offensive rebounding team, and then the Timberwolves are a bottom 10 rebounding team.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's just gonna be hard when the Grizzlies get that much more. They're gonna get way more possessions than the Timberwolves. And I think it's gonna show over the series.
That is true. I'll
Yeah.
say 6. I'll give the Timberwolves another game.
Okay. Nice. Do y'all think that, all right, last thing, do y'all think this playoffs are gonna be better than last year's?
Ooh, it's gonna be hard. I mean,
You've got
Look
some,
at
I don't know if you've had a year with a better first round matchup than Celtics. That's
yeah, seriously. I mean, I think it has potential, especially in the West. The West is healthier this year outside of Kawhi. I mean,
it's always
last
fun
year,
to see Steph in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Warriors were hurt last year. I guess the Clippers did lose Kawhi. Anthony Davis, he was banged up in that first round. There's a lot of injuries last year. This year, there's not as much. Obviously, Kawhi's out, like I just said. But, yeah, I mean, this has been a pretty good year for the NBA in terms of not having too many injuries. So, I think it's going to be a great playoffs.
Yeah, just hopefully the Hawks can pull it through the next couple of days. I really want to
Yeah.
watch them. Really want to watch. They'll can make it interesting with the Heat, but
I think
I don't
they
know.
could.
yeah.
I think it's 7.
Ooh, That's bold.
I mean, it's bold, but I think they could do it. I think Trey Young's got the clutch
Because
gene to do it.
I'm if the Hawks get hot, they can be anyone. So just always gotta believe, never doubt.
Kevin Herter.
Yep.
Kevin Herter gets hot.
Oh, it's over.
Just
Trey
like
Young.
Game 7 in Philly. Remember it like it was yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we go further.
Hawks were
this
being the
year.
Bucks until Trey Young got hurt.
Well,
Did he get
I'm just
he came back.
yeah, he just wasn't the same. But that was last year. But
Yeah, it was. All right, I can't wait for the playoffs to start. Anything else y'all got?
just
Nope.
shout out to Sports Unfold for having me. I really enjoyed coming on and talking about basketball.
You betcha. All right, well,
Yep.
thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks.